My name is Ryan Lanji. I'm a TV presenter and founder of Hungama, East London's queer alternative Bollywood night. Where was Ryan Lanji 5 years ago? Girl, Ryan Lanji was a hopeless romantic, ambitious dreamer, extroverted introvert, had big aspirations and was like, I'm gonna make some big things happen. And I just started like chatting at people, telling them what I was gonna do. I was like, I'm gonna DJ the Tate Modern Turbine Hall. I'm gonna start a queer Bollywood night. I'm going to become a TV presenter. 5 years later, here I am. 5 years from now, I mean like, it's so exciting. Catherine Zeta-Jones, which I had the pleasure of being in her company once, said to me, once you achieve your dreams, you get to dream again. So this is the first time in my life where I'm like, cool, I get to dream again. I get to like, tick all the boxes, sit down, astral project and be like, where am I gonna be in 5 years? I want to be at the Met Gala. I want to be on every single channel available to people so you can see more South Asian representation. I want to be everywhere and nowhere. I want to be on a beach. Honestly, when I started my queer Bollywood night Hungama, I really was just trying to reconnect to my mom and my home. Like growing up was just such a really fun time. Like we got lost in the music and lost in the films. We were both going through trauma in our own ways. And like it was in those car journeys where we listened to songs or went to the cinema where we both escaped. And so when I was in London and I found myself alone, I was just like, how can I reconnect to her? Like I'd come out of the closet and I've run away and I was like trying to chase my dreams and did not have the approval of her. So I just wanted to reconnect to something that felt euphoric, which was Bollywood. Naturally, South Asian culture comes into that jurisdiction, and I started to own my queerness and create a space where you can be queer and South Asian and heal and call it home. And more South Asians came, and I started to realize that being queer and proud is really cool. And then also being creative and South Asian is really cool, because those are two things that were denied. And so by creating a space where we could celebrate those two facets of personalities and two, I would say, equally oppressed personality traits in our community and our culture, it was nice to see how many people sort of woke up. They had these like, some people call it like a spiritual awakening at Hungama, where they come and like enjoy connecting to their culture and realize that they can have both of it. They can have their culture and they can have their queerness. And through that, they can start celebrating their creativity. I didn't realize my privilege. I did not realize my diaspora. I did not realize the limitations being a British immigrant can bear on your shoulders. And so I've learned so much and I've unlearned so much. And I really feel like I've understood more about the South Asian diaspora and those who are still marginalized, still affected, and how the euphoric umbrella term of Bollywood or Indian is something that is actually deeply problematic. And what we need to do is welcome everyone in and hear everyone's pain and start working together to find all of our voices, not just mine, and not just yours. Yeah, queerness is not a Western concept. As I do more research and realize that colonization actually erased queerness, I realized that we can actually celebrate our queerness because our ancestors were queer and our history is queer, and so we need to queer up the narrative. Hungama I now define as sort of an alternative Bollywood night in East London. Originally I called it a hip hop night, but it's because when I grew up I just looked up to my older cousins and they were listening to like Mace, P. Diddy, 112, Ja Rule, all the legends. And I just sort of like borrowed it. I don't necessarily know whether I loved it, but I just knew it paired really well with Bollywood music. So as we started to throw the party and have more DJs become a part of the community, we realized that actually the sound can expand into electro and house and club music and even camp queer music. I think nourishing yourself as a queer person is a radical act. I think it's really important that if you take care of your mental health and your physical vessel, that you are allowing yourself to become strong and successful within yourself. Like, it's the only body you have, and if you can take care of it, then that's bravery, and that's a protest in itself, because we're trying to be weakened by society. We don't really have the privilege of having role models and like elders in the queer community because everyone was sort of eradicated during the AIDS epidemic. And so the queer people who should be in their 40s and 50s showing us what a lifestyle could look like as a queer community, we don't have that privilege. So I think us all learning to take care of ourselves now and going to the gym now, we can start becoming those role models we never had. I think anyone who wakes up and decides to turn left instead of right and break their routine and follow their dreams is an inspiration to me. Any activist that exists not optically, but like whose sole purpose is to wake up and make sure that people have more freedoms and rights is legends, according to me.